entertainmentbuddha.com.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Now this is pod racing. Go Anakin. Everyone, welcome back to a post-Thanksgiving Star Wars show episode. That's right, we're back. Nick and I, we took a week off. That's right, we're lazy bums. You can send us all the hate mail you want, just send it to Nick, not to me. So we did take a week off to enjoy the holiday with our families. And also, I mean, it was kind of for the first time in a while since this fall when the Last Jedi promo machine kicked off, it was kind of quiet last week. But we did have a few major stories coming out of Entertainment Weekly, which has a new spread, and go out there, you can get all the collectible covers now. EW has, I think it's 4 collectible covers you can get for the Last Jedi issues. This week we got some collectible Empire issues. So people, if you haven't recognized it yet, we are in Star Wars season. It's no longer holiday season. It is Star Wars seasons, my friend. That means we've got a new movie coming out in what, Nick, now? We're 2 weeks
14
away.
Days, baby. 14 days.
Exactly 2 weeks. So it's coming out, so you can expect all sorts of new information. Hopefully not that much new information, but a lot more promotions coming out. So that's what Nick and I are going to talk about tonight, because some of these Entertainment Weekly articles offered up a few more nuggets that we haven't quite heard before. In particular, we're going to talk about Admiral Holdo, who is played by Laura Dern. We're also going to talk about the dynamic between Kylo and Rey and how those two may not be so diametrically opposed as you may have thought. And then we're going to conclude the discussion with some good information provided by Andy Serkis, who plays Supreme Leader Snoke on the character of Snoke. All right, Nick, so let's get to it, my friend. Did you have a good break? Did you do anything Star Wars related over Thanksgiving, or just eat?
I went home to see the family in Louisiana. Definitely had some Star Wars talk with my friends back home. Obviously, we went to go see Thor in the theaters over there, and one of the trailers that showed in front of the movie was Star Wars trailer. So
it's the last trailer, right? It's
the
one that plays right before the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
So right when that went off,
did you not appreciate the trailer so much more in the big screen versus the computer?
I mean, even though we've seen this trailer probably 100 times already, seeing it on a massive screen is always so much different, so much more energy filled. I mean, right. You're in a room,
and you know how we were both bitching how that last trailer, and by the last trailer, I know there's been 1,000 at this point. We're talking about the October 9th Monday Night Football trailer, where it was great. I mean, it showed a ton of new stuff, but Nick and I both mentioned that we didn't quite get that goosebump feel or the Spidey sense from watching it as we were kind of used to from the Force Awakens, and we kind of credit that to the music. But Nick's right. When you get in the theater and see it, you can't help but go, fuck yes. We have a new Skywalker Saga movie coming, and it's less than 2 weeks away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the theater experience is where Star Wars belongs. And, we have the DVDs, we have the Blu-rays, and we can watch it on our 50-inch, 55-inch TV. But nothing is ever going to beat going into a theater sitting down.
Dude, I remember I bought tickets to Monsters, Inc., just to watch, I think, the Phantom Menace trailer in a theater. Because, I mean, back in 99, 98, the internet was not even close to what it is today. I mean, it was almost impossible to find the Phantom Menace trailers online at that point in time, right?
Oh, yeah, dude, if you were trying to
I used to buy tickets
online
to movies to watch Star Wars trailers in the theater, and then I'd get up and leave.
Yeah, streaming video was not a thing in the late 90s for the internet yet. So if you wanted to watch a video or anything like that, you would have to have a full download, and it would take like 2 hours. I mean, if anybody grew up in the early days of the internet, you know how that went, and it was a nightmare. But now, I mean, we have it available at our fingertips, but like we were saying, when you're in a theater, you have a 200-inch screen or whatever in front of you, and you're surrounded by booming speakers. You're in the dark. It's just got that magical feel to it.
Okay, let's go down our first tangent, not only a minute in. Do you miss going to the movies to watch trailers before the film? Or do you prefer being able to watch them at will online?
Dude, it's crazy. Excuse me. Like, I can remember sitting in a theater and watching trailers and telling people, like, hey, be quiet, because there's no other way to see the trailer.
Right? I mean, weren't trailers almost as exciting as the movie itself back in the day?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was the only spot to see it, and it's not like you could leave and just go see it again, or it's, it wasn't like you'd seen it 20 times before. Like, the trailers, were one of the more exciting things, especially if the movie you were going to see was like, okay, or you knew it was kind of, one of those not great films. But if you go and you get to relive, or you get to, see the new movies coming out and stuff like that, it was a great time. But it is always nice to, say you're sitting on a bus or you're in traffic or something like that, to be able to pull up the Star Wars trailer on your phone, and then bam, you're in Star Wars land.
Yeah, I mean, the convenience, you can't argue against it, but I do think all the magic of going to the movies, in terms of seeing the trailers and then the film, has been destroyed by the internet.
Oh yeah,
I mean, at this point in time, I literally will not leave to go to see a movie at my local theater until the movie start time, because I know there's going to be 20 minutes of trailers that I've already seen 20,000 times online.
Yeah.
So it's like the trailers have gone from being somewhat of an attraction, I mean, in my case, a ticket seller at one point in time, to an inconvenience, to the point where I love that I have reserved seats, and I can just reserve my seats and know if I show up 1 minute before the movie starts, I'm going to have the seat I want, and I'm not going to have to watch all those fucking trailers.
Yeah. I mean, the trailers were built for moments like, you're going to see a movie, and then all of a sudden this trailer comes on for something that you've never seen. You're like, oh shit, I'm going to go see that now. That looks really good. And it's kind of lost. That feeling is lost. Like, I think in front of Thor 2 was the trailer for that movie Annihilation, which looks really cool. And the first time I saw it was like on my work computer or something like that. So, even though the trailer was awesome, I lost that, that
you were
that
sitting there
feeling.
going, all right, start the fucking movie already.
Exactly. So
okay, so tangent over. Let's get back to Star Wars. I sorry, people. I told you it was an early one. So, the first thing we want to talk about, it's an article from Entertainment Weekly. Again, they have all their Last Jedi issues are out now, I believe. And they focus on various characters and themes that are going to be presented in The Last Jedi. And one of them was an article on Admiral Holdo.
Yep.
Amilyn Holdo, who's played by Laura Dern. And just in case you're not aware yet, she is part of the Resistance, so she is a good guy. And it sounds like at some point in time during The Last Jedi, she's going to be asked to become its de facto leader. For one reason or another, Leia's going to step down. We speculated in the past that she may be injured in an attack by the First Order and needs to chill. We've also talked about she may have some other mission that she's working on, possibly trying to touch base with Luke herself. Who knows? But at some point in time, Leia's going to recuse herself from her role as leader of the Resistance, and Holdo, played by Dern, is going to take over.
Yeah, you see, there was a time when we were first introduced to this character where there was a lot of speculation. We're talking a lot about who she could be, what she could be brought in for. And I think the first thing that we really talked about was her and Leia maybe having a contentious type of relationship. Maybe, Leia was to get injured and then Holdo steps in as the ranking officer, but in Leia's mind, she really thought that somebody else should take over. But it seems like after reading this article now that it's almost the opposite, that Holdo and Leia actually have a very good relationship. They've known each other for a long time since, since Leia was coming up in the rebellion.
Her appointment is on purpose.
Yeah, exactly, and it was appointed by Leia, so this did not happen, by circumstance or anything like that. Leia definitely wanted Holdo in this position in case something did happen to her or she needed to step down. So now what looks like is going to be happening with this character is the struggle is not going to be between Holdo and Leia. It's more than likely going to be between Holdo and Poe, because we have Holdo, who was kind of the old protege to Leia when she was much younger, and now you have Poe, who is the new protege to Leia in her older age, and their styles of leading seem to kind of butt heads with each other. So we may have some interesting interactions between Poe and Amilyn Holdo, where one of them sees, maybe a strategic side of things, and then, the other sees a battle-hardened, just run right into the fray style. And I think that's way more interesting than having, Leia be injured and then this ominous kind of presence take hold of the Resistance.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like... I actually think this character is going to be very interesting, by the way, just to interject my own personal opinion. But it sounds like Holdo is essentially going to... And Dern says this herself. She's essentially like... Holdo represents the stereotypes about women bosses. So she's essentially going to come in this appearance looking a little more regal than Leia. I mean, probably more like Princess Leia versus General Leia. She's going to look a little more well-kept and well-to-do. And that just based on her being a woman and a pretty woman and a well-to-do woman, that she's going to struggle to command the respect of the top Resistance fighters, in particular Poe. So it's essentially like they think that because she looks so hoity-toity, that she's not going to be able to get down and dirty and do what needs to be done with the Resistance. Because in the end, you got to remember, I mean, these guys are used to being on the outskirts of the New Republic. And, I mean, they're essentially doing the dirty work. And, they're getting down and dirty. And, Leia, I mean, Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul. I mean, even what was the quote in here? It's like she was a... Would she say how she dressed in The Force Awakens? It's something like she's a fancy gas attendant, like a gas station attendant. Yeah, a fancy gas station attendant. So, Leia was a little more hardcore, and obviously they all knew the legend of Leia and how she fought in the Battle of Hoth. She fought in the Battle of Endor. I mean, she was clearly a huge rebel leader and a rebel hero and someone that was just as legendary as Luke and Han. So, I mean, obviously in the Resistance, they looked at her as more this tough-as-nails woman, where Holdo comes in with this purple dress and purple hair, and they're looking at her as like, who the fuck is this rich bitch trying to tell us what to do?
Exactly. Like you said, Leia was much more of a battlefield general. She was on the ground in Endor. She took a shot to the shoulder to help take down the Empire. You had her on the floor in the base on Hoth, and usually people of her stature, I mean, if you think about it, Mon Mothma was probably off somewhere else. As the same with Admiral Akbar was also not on the base. But Leia, being not only the face of the rebellion, but also a high-ranking general in the rebellion, is always on the ground when the time comes to fight. So, like you said, having Holdo come in and not look like she has that ability or not, not known as being that battlefield general, it's definitely a change of styles that not only Poe has to get used to, but everybody else in the Resistance as well. I mean, some of these pictures that you see in this article, you have some soldiers that are lined up around her it looks like she's giving some sort of address, and all of them are kind of looking at her. They don't look inspired like they would if it was Leia up there.
I mean, dude, she sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
She looks like she's at prom, and they look like they're ready to fight a war.
Yeah, so it's going to be a hard transition for a lot of the Resistance members to get used to this new leadership.
I think, dude, I look at that picture, I'm like, damn, Dern is so perfect for this.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, she's a great actress who's got a pedigree, and she's been in the business for a long time. And then two, I mean, like you said, she just fits. Looking at her dressed like this, I mean, I think when we were off mic, you said she looked like somebody from the Hunger Games, and you're right. I mean, but
she looks like Effie. I mean,
yeah.
She looks like fucking Effie.
So, I mean, I'm really excited to see how Laura Dern plays this character and how everything plays out for her character in this movie. And I really hope that there is some sort of coming together with her and Poe towards the end of it. Because I think their two styles, even though they may seem to clash at first, it's always good to have both strategy and, this
in the end, dude, if you read the end, it basically says Dameron and Holdo do have one thing in common. Both learned everything they know from the same teacher.
Yep.
Leia Organa. And then Dern says, I've always worked under her for the Resistance, therefore with Leia being the boss. So in the end, they both still have the same vision as Leia.
Oh yeah,
they go about it different ways, and I think that's going to provide a very interesting dynamic in The Last Jedi.
Absolutely,
and potentially moving forward.
I mean, that's something that we talked about with Poe too. Once we first found out that he was, trying to move into this leadership position within the Resistance, is he's moving from the mindset of being a fighter pilot, one of the best pilots in the galaxy at the time, to essentially, what would be considered like a desk position. You're behind a strategic, position. You're wearing a different hat now.
I think it sounded like Leia wants him to be her successor.
Yeah, I think
it sounds like he is the most similar to her. They're kind of both rough around the edges, but they both have the right intentions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I guess with Leia, she can look at Holdo and see the brilliance and strategy that she has, but she probably feels like Holdo's missing something. Like she is missing
But at the same time, in The Last Jedi, clearly she doesn't think Poe's ready yet.
Oh, no, not yet. And the fact that Holdo has been there with her since the rebellion against the Empire is probably the reason that Leia has, lifted her to this position to be her second in command and then eventually take over.
As Nick mentioned, at the end of this article, it does said, Holdo even turns up as a character in author Claudia Gray's new novel, Leia, Princess of Alderaan, set during the teen years of the princess as she first enters the rebellion. So the younger Holdo, a native of the world Gatalenta, is a fellow student of diplomacy, and she uses her colorful appearance and offbeat demeanor to destabilize people. So they meet at a young age, although Leia is still her senior, and therefore, as we said in the previous statement, Leia shaped this girl, this lady.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would imagine that anybody in leadership positions within the rebellion and then also transitioning into the Resistance would have looked up to or seen Leia as a mentor or an icon. But for Holdo to have Leia be a personal friend to her and to try to follow in her footsteps like she has been, I mean, that's a very powerful person to have in your life.
Kind of mini tangent on like relationships in Star Wars. Aren't you kind of bummed that Calrissian isn't involved?
I'm kind of,
considering he was a general.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely bummed to a point, but I mean, Billy D. Williams is a very old man. I mean, he's older.
Yeah, he did not age well at all.
No, I mean, a lot of people were talking about.
I wouldn't even say Harrison Ford has aged all that well, but he's aged a lot better than Billy D.
Yeah, but I think
Billy D. looks borderline senile. And
yeah,
I love the guy, and I hate to say that, but he doesn't look good on the mic.
I'm not sure of his age. I don't know if he was older than the other cast members or not. But I think it would have been hard for him to come back. So maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe early versions of the scripts for Episode 7 and Episode 8 had him in it in some capacity, and then once...
Because what makes it even more interesting now, I mean, I don't know how far you've made him Battlefront 2, but he's still a very major player a year past Battle of Endor.
Oh, yeah.
You have to figure, like, he stuck around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he definitely stuck around the Rebellion. I think I'm, like, 5 or 6 chapters into the story, so I'm about not quite halfway through, but I've gotten into it. But yeah, canonically he's definitely still around, and I wouldn't be surprised if in novels that are written around this time, maybe pre-episode 7, he might pop up, or mentions of him could show up. But I just think that practically, in terms of like filming the movie and then using Billy D. Williams as an actor, it just didn't work out. Maybe he didn't want to do it.
I mean, for example, Akbar has made it through. I mean, Lando had a way bigger role than Akbar.
Yeah.
I mean, Akbar's his biggest contribution to the franchise is it's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Lando blew up the fucking second Death Star.
Okay, so
Lando saved Luke. Lando helped save Han. I mean, come on.
Okay. So just for some real world context here, Harrison Ford's 75 now. He was born in 1942.
All right. So what's Billy? Is Billy D 80 plus?
Billy D is 80. He was born in 1937.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the man he's an old man, and I saw him in person probably 5 or 6 years ago in Disney when they had their Star Wars celebrations. This was pre-acquisition, so it was probably longer than 5 years ago. And he showed up there to, take part in the festivities, and he had a sit-down kind of talk show where he would talk to members of the Disney cast, and then Ray Park was also there, so he had conversations with Ray Park. And even then, you could tell that age did not
he's
treat
not
him
with
well.
it, right? Like there's something, and it's sad to say, but I mean, it's almost like he's borderline dementia.
Yeah, and you always see now, if you see him, he's always wearing sunglasses.
Right, he looks out of it. I mean, he looks physically busted.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's like any sort of actual like medical condition that's linked, with him right now.
It could
but
just be, he's 80.
He's 80. He's an 80-year-old man. But you can see when you see him in person that he is physically degraded, and that's very sad. I mean, like you were saying,
right?
He's
Hey,
iconic...
people, we're not picking on the man. We all love Billy D. I mean, we'll go drink a Colt 45 after the cast. I think, if anything, we're just disappointed that he probably can't be involved because of his physical deterioration.
And look, I mean, I wouldn't even doubt that he was game. Like if JJ or if Ryan went to him, he was probably all about it. He might have even reached out himself. But it's just...
Oh, I agree. I think he probably did write letters, but I think they're all like, brother, I mean, we would almost have to like CGI your fucking head in.
Yeah. So, and like, I'm pretty sure he was at one of the more recent celebrations as well. I don't know if it was this
I think he was at the one I was at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he was there. I think he was.
Dude, I mean, he went. I know he went to the Force Awakens premiere. I mean, he's still heavily involved, but you are right. He looks physically busted. I mean, I think he's cane bound. Like you said, in his face, if you sense that he has like some form of brain deterioration.
Yeah. So it's definitely sad, and we would all love.
But if
to
anything,
see him
back
there.
to our topic. I mean, I do think he would have fit within this narrative, though.
Absolutely. I mean, a high-ranking general, a close friend to Leia and Han. Also, an acquaintance of Luke Skywalker. I mean, the guy is another one of the Resistance heroes or Rebellion heroes from the days of the Empire. I mean, if there was I don't want to say a Mount Rushmore, because the Mount Rushmore would be Leia, Luke, and Han. But if there was a fourth person on a Mount Rushmore, it would be.
Dude, we almost have to throw
Chewie.
Since there's 4 on there. I think we have to throw the droids as 1 on that Leia, Luke, and Han deal. Though.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go only speaking members of the cast, then you would have to throw Billy D up there as Lando Calrissian. He would be on that mountain. I mean, like you said, he fucking took out the second Death Star. I mean, he was a major part of not only the escape from Cloud City from Bespin, but he was also a huge part of the organization of the rebellion post Episode 5. I mean, the guy's, a rebellion legend, so no doubt in my mind he would be there. So, aside from the lack of Calrissian being there, we're gonna have Holdo, we're gonna have Poe, and then we're also gonna have Leia up into a point. So what do you think is gonna be the one thing that kind of drives Leia away? Do you think it's gonna be the injury Is it going to be? Is it going to have to do with the ship incident that we see with Kylo?
Okay, let me phrase it this way: injury or no injury, it's going to be Kylo.
Okay.
Kylo's what's going to drive her from the Resistance. She's either going to go away to try to figure out how she can reconcile with him, or he's going to potentially injure her.
Okay, so we see her on Crate. We know she's on Crate at some point.
And this is where we've gone back and forth, where we thought we had the fucking plot line figured out, and then we're like, well, what the fuck? So does the Crate land battle take place before the ship battle? If that's the case, well, then she probably doesn't get blown up.
Yeah, or maybe he holds back. Maybe he doesn't pull the trigger.
Right, exactly. Maybe he pusses out, which may be the case once we get to the Snoke article, because if you read into that,
yeah,
Snoke pretty much is about done with Kylo at this point in terms of he's not happy with his progression.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe she survives that incident there, and then she can feel
but
him
it's
on
enough
Crate.
that she needs to get the fuck out of the front line.
Well, I wouldn't even say that she needs to get out of the front line. My thought is that she's the type of character that, like, after something like that, and then she knew he was there, and then if he doesn't... So you're
thinking, like, he's only showing this aggressiveness because I am here.
No, I feel like she can feel him coming... Well, not really coming back, but she can feel that he's not all in on the dark side. He doesn't pull the trigger. She's like, my son is still in there. And then she knows that he's going to be on Crate, so she goes down to Crate. In some sort of hopes of, like, trying to save him.
And don't you think this was all supposed to tie into Episode 9 where she's the one that redeems her son?
Probably. I mean, I would imagine.
Which is never going to happen now.
Yeah. We've talked about it a lot, and I mean, this trilogy is forever changed.
You don't even
by
have
those
to say
events.
we did. I mean,
everybody has.
Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, they all are on record saying Episode 9 was Leia's movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and that's what makes it worse.
This trilogy,
because you know what could have been. Like, if they never would have said shit, this still would have been tragic. But we wouldn't have had the whole the hype level that they set. Like, okay, 7 was Han, 8's Luke, 9's Leia. I mean, that's basically what they said.
Yep, pretty much. And you
so
know,
how can they at this point, as Nick and I have argued, how can they truly tell us that her passing isn't really going to affect that much? It's like, no, you're fucking full of garbage. There's no way.
I mean, that's definitely...
You guys have said that Leia was going to be one of the major players in Episode 9. And to me, that was essentially saying Leia is going to be the driving force that's either going to get Luke out of his fucking hole or get her son back on the right side of things.
Yeah, that was definitely smokescreen by Lucasfilm and Disney there, because I don't think that they can come out to the public and say, like, yeah, we're not going to do General Leia any kind of justice because we don't really have the ability to do that. So they had to say something. They had to say something that was good for the press. They had to say something that seems like the fans are going to get what they want out of an unfortunate situation, a tragic situation. So I don't think, as much as they say that we're going to get that
there's
moment.
nothing you can say. There's nothing they can say that convinces me that however Leia they think she's going out, that is going to justify anything.
Yeah,
because in the end, they have always said she is going to be a major player in 9. So even if they somehow be like, oh yeah, she was always supposed to die in 8 anyways, we're all going to be like, bullshit.
Unless, like, Rian Johnson is just, like, the best writer-director of all time and, like, comes up with something that's just, like, completely magical. And, I mean, he very well might be.
I mean, Hamill's on record saying, in the end, the way she goes out, the fans are going to love it. But, I mean, how do you fucking do that if you're not planning for it?
I don't know, dude. I mean, maybe that's one of the things that really impressed them about Ryan with this movie is, like, being able to take something like that happened and then make something great out of it. I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll find out in 2 weeks whether that's true or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder couldn't do it on fucking Justice League.
Yeah, well, That was. I don't think anybody can do anything with a DC movie under the WB banner
over there, man.
So,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Eventually, guys, we're gonna kick up another cast where we're gonna talk. We'll go into more depth on
just
the DC
sell it to Marvel
stuff.
at this point, Warner Brothers. I mean, DC, whoever. Don't sell your comic line. Like, you can keep that, but sell the movie rights to Marvel.
Yeah, sell it while the characters are still worth something.
I'm a DC guy from birth. I mean, to me, there are no comics without Superman and Batman.
I mean, there physically are not. I mean, there really aren't.
Superman is literally the first ever fucking comic book ever.
I mean, if you look at Superman and you look at subsequent heroes that are built after the birth of Superman.
I mean, everyone from Marvel is a ripoff of the DC character. Everybody.
Yeah, except, I guess this was one thing that I heard Stan Lee talking about. This was a long time ago in a documentary that I was watching. He was a fan of DC Comics, obviously, before he and who was his partner, his writing partner? I can't remember. It wasn't Jack Kirby, or it might have been. I'm not like 100%.
Kirby's the DC guy.
Yeah, he's DC guy.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't.
Yeah, I just can't remember his name. But like before they created Marvel, the one thing that Stan Lee was really kind of disappointed about was the lack of real world places included in the comics. So he said he kind of felt disconnected from it. So like DC,
you're right. That's the big difference. I mean, DC created its own
world,
city,
yeah,
and world. I mean, literally Earth 1, Earth through 52, and Earth X.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys watched the CW shows, but this week's crossover was fucking ace.
See, I do watch them, but I always watch them like after shit is played. Like I don't keep up with them actively, but I love like the Flash.
This is by far the best crossover between the 4 CW shows ever. I mean, it's 4 episodes. It's fucking fantastic.
Nice.
And it's a complete fucking depiction of what these writers think is going on in America. I'm telling you right now, just watch it.
Yeah.
And they literally cast Earth X as Nazi America.
Damn. And then, now you got Kreisberg, who's like one of the huge people on that. They got fucking canned because of his dumbass shit. Anyway.
Yeah. So, Nick, let's get away from Holdo and let's move into the next deal, which was, again, this is all Entertainment Weekly stuff. So, if you want to follow along or if you want to follow up after the cast to see if we were pulling shit out of our ass when we weren't, you can go check it up on Entertainment Weekly. So, this article is titled Kylo Ren versus Rey in The Last Jedi. The danger is becoming allies instead of enemies. So I actually, this was a great article, and it kind of got into the heads of both Kylo and Rey from the perspective of their actors. Just to start off, Nick, here, I'll give you something to riff on, but when they're talking to Driver, he kind of sums up Kylo as someone who has always been aware of this ability in himself from such a young age, and I don't think there's a lot of people around him who are on the same level. I think that there is something familiar there as well as something to be feared or something that he can't quite place. So they're essentially setting up that this character of Kylo knows he's a pimp, and it kind of eats at him, and he wants this respect. And that desire for respect is kind of what helped him go down to the dark side, which, Nick, sounds like someone very familiar.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, obviously...
He's Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I would say, obviously, we're talking about Anakin Skywalker here, but if you think about the position that Kylo is in right now, he's coming into a galaxy where the Force users have probably only been outwardly showing and outwardly, expressing themselves as Force users without any fear of being killed by the Empire for, probably only 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. Maybe even less than that, considering his age. So, back in the day with Anakin, he was the most powerful person around because he was the most powerful Force user ever, period. Kylo is now the most powerful person around because there's just been nobody trained, and he has
he's
Skywalker
literally,
blood.
literally the most powerful person probably in the galaxy.
Yeah, in the galaxy, aside from
most
Luke.
Most of the trained, powerful, Force users are dead.
Yeah, exactly. They've all been purged. They were purged by the Empire, by the Emperor, And now you have this kind of barren landscape where these Force users are just starting to pop up again, and you have this kid who was from, the lineage, the Force lineage itself, the Skywalker family. I mean, this is the Force's own family, basically, and there's nobody around him who can live up to him. I mean, he went to this school with his uncle, who's probably known all of his life, who he already had built-in kind of, when you're family with somebody and they're trying to teach you something, you always have that little, bit inside of you that are like, I can be better than them, or it's just being too close to that person, which gives you a little bit of a lack of respect for them. And then also being in a school to where he's clearly the strongest person there. He's probably, miles ahead of these people, miles ahead of these other Padawans, and it just frustrates him. And that leads him to the path of the dark side. He was promised something by Snoke that he wasn't getting from Luke and from the Academy, and that was the ability to grow stronger without bounds.
Right. And again, this echoes exactly what happened to his grandfather.
Yeah.
Anakin felt like the Jedi were holding him back, and the only way he could truly realize his powers and get the power he wanted to save life was by going to the dark side.
Exactly. And now you have this new Force user that comes out of nowhere, literally nowhere. He doesn't know who this girl is. The first line of this article says, he hates her, this girl, this garbage picker, this amateur who somehow drew his family lightsaber to her hand, overpowering his own bond with the Force. This has never happened to him before. He's never encountered somebody more powerful than him. And it's probably been fed to him by Snoke that he's more powerful than even Snoke is. I mean, this is the same thing that Anakin heard from Emperor Palpatine before he, overtly came out as a Sith Lord. He was feeding Anakin like, you're stronger than everybody on the council. You should be a master, all this kind of stuff. Snoke is feeding this kid the same kind of shit. And now you finally have somebody that comes into the galaxy that can rival you not only for your Force using abilities, but also is clearly, a match for you in fighting in many other ways. So it's for him to be drawn to her, even though there is this ingrained hatred, is not surprising, because it's the only time where he feels like he has an equal. The sentence
right after that says he has an admiration for her, though.
Yeah,
like exactly. As much as he's like disturbed by what she did and his hate, he like naturally just admires her ability.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter the person. It could have been anybody. He would have been drawn to any person that has this level of ability because he finally feels like there's somebody else in this galaxy who is his equal. I mean, and that's something that a lot of people search for, and that's something that Anakin had but didn't really realize he had, because he always thought of himself as better or as being held back. I mean, we've heard him say that in the prequel trilogy.
We've already figured this out. Anakin Skywalker was an ass wipe. Anakin Skywalker is a loser, okay? He's a fucking loser, and I hate him because he made Darth Vader a loser. Enough said.
Kylo Ren, though, I mean, now that we're,
Kylo's not a loser. He's just a little fucking emo idiot who hasn't quite... I mean, he's a whiny bitch, but he's not a loser.
I think he's
got the whiny bitch part, but he's not a loser.
Yeah, I mean, he's strong, and he's probably... I feel like Kylo has a bit more mental fortitude than Anakin, because I mean, him...
Nick, if we scroll down the article, in the end, I mean, I think Driver brings up a good point. A lot of the reason that Kylo turned against his mom and dad is because they fucking ignored him. I mean, they were so dedicated on getting this New Republic up and running that he was pretty much second priority.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was something that we talked about on previous casts, is when you have parents like Han and Leia.
Yeah, I mean, it made him very bitter, and that's what consumed him, and that's probably what made it so easy for Snoke to lure him to the dark side.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, having abandonment issues, especially at an age like Kylo was probably at when he was, training with Luke, and when he was first kind of getting comfortable with his Jedi or his Force abilities, that's an age where I mean, you're just naturally rebellious against your parents, and then also throw in that you're being influenced by an extremely powerful dark side force user. I mean, bad things are bound to happen. I mean, it's hard to avoid it. So his fall, while it may not be as dramatic and as unseen as Anakin's, it's still as impactful as Anakin's was, as we can see with the First Order's rise in the galaxy. So
so just sticking with Kylo and like some of what Driver's been saying about the characters, like, I mean, again, we expand on the fact that some of the reason he's so bitter is because he feels like his parents abandoned him for the New Republic. He just couldn't really identify with anybody and like what's going on, and that kind of affected how he's going to behave. And he's still kind of struggling with the idea that he killed his dad and trying to figure out if that was the right thing he did. You know, not only for Snoke but for himself. Was that the right thing to do? And I think this is interesting. Driver says from his perspective, what he's done is hopeful. Like, maybe that's going to make me this super powerful dark side guy. But he's still not feeling this. I think what he's searching for is like, okay, that was a switch that needs flipped to make me fully dark side. He's still struggling with the fact, like, okay, well, I think killing my dad was the right thing to do to get me here, but for some reason I don't feel like I'm there.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously he was told by Snoke that this was going to be a big moment for him, so he was hopeful that by doing this, then he could finally cross that bridge or break through that wall that was, you know, becoming this extremely powerful dark side force user. But it just didn't happen, and maybe he's still waiting for that. He's hoping that, you know, something else can lead him to that. So he's just, and this is something that we heard from Adam Driver before about Kylo, is that he's still this kid, this young person, not even really a kid. I mean, he's in his early 30s, but, you know, he's this person that's looking for some sort of clarity. He's somebody who's searching for a purpose, and, you know, he didn't feel like he had that purpose with
his own mom and dad.
Yeah, exactly. So he really is hoping that this Snoke character can lead him to a new life where he feels like he belongs there. And that's something also that Rey is looking for. Now that she's plucked off of Jakku and she's, you know, kind of thrown into this whirlwind of being in the Resistance and finding out she's a Force user and trying to learn from the, you know, most famous Jedi Master in the world, she's also, you know, trying to find her place in the galaxy, and that's something that we've heard in the trailers.
Since you brought up Rey, I mean, to get into her part of this article, it's like, to contrast the two, Rey has no intentions to exert her power over others like Kylo. Like, that doesn't even, it's not even in her ballpark.
No, she's like exploring.
All Rey wants to know is to understand her force powers, and really how she can use it to help. She doesn't know what she wants. She's not part of the Resistance. It really doesn't mean shit to her, to be honest with you. I mean, that's what she's saying here. She's been left alone her whole life, so she's someone that really wants to help people, but she wants to be part of something. And the fact that when she goes to see Luke and he rejects her at first, that's what kind of starts letting Rey feel like an outcast and like, you know, what the fuck did I do? So, I mean, that could very well lead her down a certain path. And if you look at one of the images in this article, it now clearly shows that Kylo Ren is the one that leads Rey to Snoke.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think
either by force or just voluntarily. I mean, he is standing directly behind Rey, and they are clearly in Snoke's chamber.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to be a forceful kind of meeting. I think that, like you said,
well,
Rey
I mean, not to cut you off, but if we scroll right under the picture, it explains exactly what we just said. When Rey feels rejected by Luke Skywalker, who also sees parallels between the power in her and the abilities of his estranged nephew, the old Jedi Master inadvertently pushes the two toward each other.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they just spoiled it right there.
Well, I mean,
Luke's treatment of Rey is going to drive Rey to Kylo, who's going to bring her to Snoke.
I mean, I kind of saw that.
I'm telling you right now. Take it to the bank.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I don't know about you, but I mean, I felt like that was obvious from earlier in the trailer. It's like just the way Luke was acting around her. The fact that he was clearly pushing her away.
I mean, but the way they edited it, we didn't know like if that scene was actually Kylo holding his hand out to Rey. And in the end, I think it is. I still believe that's Rey talking to Luke. But I think Kylo outstretching his hand could very well be a scene that involves Rey coming to meet it.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I mean, like we said, the initial show of that is not how it's going to happen. But it's definitely, Kylo and Rey. Or, Kylo that Rey that Kylo is reaching his hand out to.
Here's another good quote about Rey. I mean, again, she's still trying to figure out how she fits into all this. And she says, or Daisy says, "You're going to meet people who you think are going to help you who don't, Luke. And help is also going to come from unexpected places, Kylo. So this help may not be the help Rey needs to become bad. It could be the help that she needs to become who she needs to become."
Exactly. I mean, I think that the lines are blurred here. We're used to looking at Star Wars like, okay, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. The Luke Skywalker is the good guy, and Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine are the bad guys. That's how it's always been divided. It's always been very clear.
Well, I'm glad you brought up blurred lines, because literally I wrote, the press tours kicked off this week. Did I record Jimmy Kimmel? Hold on. By the way, everyone, well, it doesn't matter. Well, Nick, they're all on Jimmy Kimmel tonight, by the way.
Yeah,
the whole cast, Ryan, everybody.
That'll be on YouTube for sure.
Right. so we got to make sure to catch that. But she was on GMA, and she literally, the way she talked about it is blurred lines. There is no, and again, Luke said, The Last Jedi. The movie's fucking called The Last Jedi. So Rey is someone who is probably going to operate in between, and so is Kylo.
Exactly.
That's the trick.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been saying for the longest time that this kid, that Kylo he's not a bad guy. And I always saw him coming back, not even really back to the light, but like he's going to come back in a way to where he's not really against Luke, but he's not for Snoke either. Like, they're going to be their own thing. Like, Kylo and Rey are going to be their own thing, and they're going to realize that, like, they need to do something different than what has been going on in the galaxy for, at this point, thousands of years.
Well, I mean, you have to say Kylo is a bad guy. I mean, at this point in time, he is a bad guy. He's done a lot of bad stuff. I mean, he's killed a lot of people. I mean, he's technically no different than Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader. I mean, he's technically someone that has the power to be good, doing a lot of bad shit.
Okay, I don't think he's like Anakin Skywalker as Darth Vader. I think he's like Anakin Skywalker as Anakin Skywalker right before he fell. Yeah, like right before the full fall.
Anakin wouldn't murder Lord Santeca. He would murder some Tusken Raiders, but he's not going to just fucking strike down Lord Santeca for fun. That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, Kylo literally cuts the dude in half for shits and giggles at the start of the movie.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just, even after all of that, I just don't look at him as, a bad guy. It's just, I don't look at him the same way as I look at, a Vader or a Count Dooku or anything like that. There's a...
I see Kylo to me is almost the opposite of Anakin, where Kylo more or less starts bad but's going to end good, where Anakin starts somewhat good, then bad, then ends up somewhat good again, where I think Kylo has dedicated more to being bad but is going to ultimately end up being good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just know his character. I know his character is just it's like a lost child, and he's clinging on to whatever he feels like he needs at the moment, and that's what's happening to him. He was essentially an abandoned kid, because his parents were absentee as much as they could be while still being.
Yeah, but at the same time, he made the decision to wipe out the entire New Jedi Order and team up with a faction that had a weapon that blew up an entire galaxy, and he murdered his dad, and he killed this other guy. I mean, he's a bad dude.
I know.
He's done a lot of bad shit.
I know. It's just that I know what like his character arc like is gonna be. I know what it's gonna be, and like I can see why he's written that way, and I can see why he did those things, because he's just searching for something. Like he didn't feel like he was a part of anything at the Jedi Academy. He felt like he didn't belong there because, I mean, regardless of the reasons, whether it be that he was stronger than the other kids or
no, I think it's going to be by the time he got to the academy, and we've heard this before, like Leia ultimately sent him there because she gave up. She's like, I don't know what else to do with this kid, Luke. Maybe you can fucking do something because you both have the Force and he needs corralled. I think it was Snoke all along fucking seeping the bullshit into his head.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, you can do this, you can do that, you can be more powerful than your uncle, you can be more powerful than your mom. And that's what ultimately led Kylo to fucking being a dumbass.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Just like Anakin. I mean, that's what these fucking guys do.
He was being pulled that way, but it's... I mean, like, if he didn't feel... But, like, my point is that if he didn't feel like he needed anything, like, if he felt secure that, you know,
yeah, of course.
I'm with Luke...
Yeah, if he felt loved by mom and dad, then obviously Snoke wouldn't have had an easier time poisoning his mind.
Yeah, and then... the same goes for Luke, too, because I would imagine that Luke was probably not the best trainer... you know, this is probably his first go at creating a new Jedi Academy and stuff, and he's got a lot of students, and he didn't want to show Kylo any favoritism, so he goes to this Jedi Academy after having trouble with his family, seeking some sort of parental guidance or some sort of you know, family love from his uncle, and then he gets there and he realizes that his uncle is not paying attention to him either, and that he's paying attention to these other kids.
I agree. I envision their training kind of went down the way that Anakin thought Obi was training him and holding him back. Like, I feel like Kylo will feel the same way. Like, I'm telling you right now, Kylo, Ben Solo is fucking Anakin Jr.
Yeah. It's just that
he always feels slighted. He always feels like he's been wronged and no one loves him and woe is me and oh my God, Coruscant, motherfucker. I mean, he's that type of guy. He's just like his grandfather, and it makes sense. It's his goddamn idol.
I just think I agree that they're similar in that way, but I just think
he's like Uncle Luke's hold me back.
I don't know.
You know, that scene between Anakin and fucking Padme. Ben's hold me back. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna get to see that part of the, you know, the Skywalker or the, you know, the Skywalker trilogy, the Skywalker saga, where Luke is training the Jedi, unless it's in cartoon form. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't think that he's going to be outward like that. I just feel like, to me, Kylo is a quiet kid, and he's more self-isolatory than anything. Like, he'll isolate himself rather than, you know, go up and do that kind of shit.
I don't know, man. The way he acted in Force Awakens, you could also make an argument that he's a fucking hot-headed psycho.
Well, now he's empowered, though. He feels empowered. Before, he never felt like that. Like, he always felt like he was isolated, even when he was around his family and when he was around other Jedi that were training. He still felt isolated. And now that he's in this place where he feels like he's being empowered by everybody around him, he can do that. Plus, he, like we were talking about before, when he wears the mask, he's not Ben Solo anymore. He's a completely different person. So with the mask comes the persona, and so just being in that environment and then being to live in a different skin, being able to live in that sort of skin that you never had before, empowers him in a way that he was never able to feel like before. I just feel like his to me, his story, his upbringing, story is way more complicated.
As we wrap up this article, and when they say that unexpected place is Kylo Ren, that's essentially saying Rey is going to find herself hanging out with the dude. So she finds herself in this situation alone, unappreciated, which is similar to where Ben Solo found himself when broke from his Uncle Luke. Horrible writing, by the way. That's not my reading. They literally said when he broke from his Uncle Luke and followed the Knights of Ren down a darker path. So again, he's a little fucking whiny mopey fuck. Oh, Uncle Luke doesn't fucking like me. I'm gonna fucking leave. Knights of Ren. Fuck you, Uncle Luke.
I think that if we ever get to see Kylo's story as a child, like his upbringing, I think it would be way more.
He's Anakin Solo. He's the same guy. He hates sand. I guarantee it.
No, I think
Look it up on his Facebook page. I guarantee it says he hates fucking sand.
I think his upbringing is going to be way more complex than Anakin's, because Anakin's was very stagnant and very.
No one loves me. No one appreciates me. Boo hoo. I'm gonna go be a bad guy. That's fucking Kylo Ren, dude.
I don't know. I think there's more to him than.
All right. To wrap it up, some good notes here. But anyway, Supreme Leader Snoke, the enigmatic ruler of the First Order, detected the power in him and saw someone who could be swayed. But the young man's shaky resolve means he could also be swayed back. Duh. He will be a good guy before this is all said and done, people. Get used to it. Anybody that's committed to anything at a certain point in their life, you kind of constantly question why you got into it in the first place. And that was Adam Driver essentially talking about his character. So let's just be real with everybody. I'm just going to say, when it's all said and done, neither one of these two will be on the bad side by the end.
Yeah, there's going to be...
Rey very well could flirt with it pretty hardcore come Last Jedi, maybe early Episode 9. But in the end, they're both fucking turning on Snoke, and they're all going to take him out.
Yeah, and I think that they're not going to be involved with the Resistance either. Like, they're going to go off...
Just do their own thing? Yeah. I mean, I could also see Kylo dying in the end, too.
I could see that, too. I mean, either one of these characters could die in the end,
I could see
honestly.
Kylo dying to save Rey from something. Just as Vader died to save Luke.
Yeah, it's definitely,
I'm telling you, dude, it's coming.
This is a strong possibility.
We might not find out until fucking 2019, but... I'm pretty sure Kylo will die to save Rey.
You're probably right, honestly. I can't argue with you there. Because if I was going to write
I still don't want Luke to die, and I've come around to your way of thinking. I think he's toast, but I still don't think... I really don't think they need to kill Luke, though, to progress this story.
I don't think that they need to.
Especially because he's such a fucking nut job at this point.
I don't think that they need to, but I think that...
he's literally watched the galaxy crash and burn for years.
Well, like, you have to have a redemption moment for him. It's not... I don't think... It might not be in this movie. It's probably going to be in 9.
You're right. He's dead. He's fucking toast.
I mean, I
just hope he doesn't die to Kylo.
I mean, to me, that's the way to do it. You have to die to Kylo.
Well, if they do it that way, it's got to be, again, another ripoff from the OT. I mean, Luke has to willingly die. You're not going to tell me that Kylo's just going to beat his ass.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the way to go if you're going to do it.
Luke's going to have to pull an Obi. He's going to have to commit to the Force and literally turn into a pile of clothes. If he gets cut in half, I'll be fucking pissed off.
I think that's the way to do it. But we'll see. 2019, like you said, there's going to be a lot happening that year. All right, so let's jump into
rounding
Snoke.
home. We're on to the last part of this EW series, and this one was all about Snoke. And Snoke obviously is probably the number 1 or number 2 mystery. I mean, you could argue between Rey's parentage and Snoke. Which one is the bigger mystery? At this point, I almost have to think Snoke is, because we have fucking zilch on this dude. But anyways, they interviewed Andy Serkis, who, by the way, is the god of CGI characters in Hollywood, and just to fucking Mac Daddy anyways. I mean, I love this dude. I've loved him since his work with the Lord of the Rings, and then into the Planet of the Apes series. I mean, he's fucking brilliant, and it's a shame that he doesn't get more recognition in the industry, because... this dude literally redefined how you can act out a CGI character. So fuck you, Ahmad Best and Jar Jar Binks. You're not. So what if you were the first? You fucking suck. All right. So anyways, this article, Nick, was all about kind of Snoke, and it kind of revealed really nothing about his past, but kind of compared him to characters to kind of give us an idea. Some of the things we get from this article is that, you know, he's clearly been training Kylo or Ben Solo for years at this point. I mean, we could argue 15 plus years, to be honest with you, if not more. But come The Last Jedi, there's a sense, or we're going to get a sense, that Snoke is not quite pleased with Kylo's progression. And this disappointment in Kylo's progression, or lack thereof, is going to start kind of stoking his anger towards Kylo, which in turn could lead to what we know is coming, his push to find a new apprentice who is Rey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing kind of revealed in this article, Nick. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know if there's anything you want to zero in on in particular. It also goes in to talk about how Snoke is extremely strong with the Force, in particular the dark side. He's super powerful, but he's also super vulnerable because he is a very physically wounded character. He has suffered and has suffered major injuries.
Yeah.
And Circus explains this is the cause for a lot of his malevolence and his reaction to everything. And a very important line here, his ultra hatred of the Resistance is fueled by what has happened to him personally. So as you and I were talking before we got online, while there are many similarities between him and Palpatine, this one is a stark difference.
Oh, yeah.
Palpatine was very calculated. He was not tortured. I mean, he did this on his own free will. This was his plan, was to take over the Republic, topple it, and create an empire. Where here, it sounds like Snoke's motivation is totally fueled by something that has happened to him personally, by someone that is on the Resistance team.
Yeah, so when I read this article initially, the way it reads is that he was wronged by the Resistance, quote unquote. But like they put it as, you know, the Resistance itself has somehow injured him. But in my mind, and like we were saying before we fired up the mics, I really think that it's a person within the Resistance. It's not the Resistance itself.
Well,
like we
it
know,
has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be based on what we know, because we've been told that Snoke has been around, long enough to know or to have witnessed the fall of the Republic and the fall of the Empire.
Yeah, so
he's for you idiots out there that don't know the timelines in Star Wars, he's at least been around since the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very long time. So if we consider, I mean, he's what, in his hundreds probably, maybe at the very least. I mean, we're talking if it says like if it reads and it plays out how we expect it to, he's probably at least 150 years old.
Oh yeah, he's well into triple digits.
Yeah, so he's not a human. That's something that Circus,
Oh yeah, they cleared that up. I mean,
yeah.
He's humanoid, no human.
Yeah, 9 foot tall, alien
9 feet
humanoid.
tall. That so again, he's not fucking Mace Windu, idiots.
Yeah. So if we take a look at possible origins for this guy, and then possible people within the Resistance that have wronged him, to me, them saying that this is within the Resistance, or him saying that this is a personal vendetta with somebody in the Resistance, that almost kind of like negates Luke, right? Because, I mean, Luke, yeah, I mean, his sister is the Resistance leader, his best friend, Han Solo, was kind of tangentially linked to the Resistance, but even
it's not Luke. I mean, Luke's clearly someone he wants to find, but I truly think he wants to find Luke for where Luke's at, not for Luke himself.
Yeah. So to me, this has to be something that's possibly linked to Leia. I mean, the first time that we heard Snoke's name in this new trilogy was from Leia, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, Snoke's name spoken by somebody who wasn't associated with the First Order,
right.
Was from Leia. And then, like I said, Luke's kind of not, I wouldn't exactly lump him into the Resistance umbrella, and neither would I Han, because Han was kind of off doing his own thing. So to me, like, he's more after the Resistance because of Leia than anything else.
It has to be Leia. I mean, it has to be.
Now,
or Leia's lineage. I mean, if you want to talk about her adopted lineage, I mean, maybe fucking Bail pissed the guy off for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, so who knows?
It could be Akbar.
It could be. I mean, we could really dive into like the players within the Resistance. I mean, could it be?
Because I mean, we know Mon Mothma's not around for whatever reason.
Yeah.
She's not around. So I mean, it's really Leia, Akbar. I mean, I guess Nine Numb's in there too. I mean, maybe he fucking hates him.
I mean, Nine Numb versus a 9-foot tall alien. I don't know how that could go down, but yeah, dude, it's a very interesting backstory to see. Like you were saying, you know, Palpatine was very thoughtful, and he had the whole plan for the toppling of the Republic.
It was a slow roll too.
Yeah, I mean,
where it sounds like this guy's just hell bent on destruction. Like he just wants to fuck everything up.
Yeah, and he's going about it in a very accelerated manner too. I mean, the First Order is not something that came about from the toppling of the New Republic. It was literally like a splinter cell within the New Republic that he kind of, I don't know if he, you know, took it over as the leader once the final split happened, but he definitely took advantage.
I think if you play more of Battlefront 2, you can clearly see how the First Order came into existence.
Yeah, see, I'm still working through it, so I'm not finished the campaign yet. But it seems like, so what I would guess is that he kind of comes in as a leader after it had already been established in some way. But I guess I'll find out once I keep playing it. But yeah, it's a completely different motivation, because to me, like with Palpatine, he kind of had his thing already. Like once he toppled the Republic and had the Empire, like his goal was completed. And for me, with Snoke, it feels like there's a lot more motivation behind it, considering it's a personal vendetta. Like, Palpatine was doing it because he felt like it was his duty as a Sith Lord, and within the rule of two, that this was the ultimate goal, was to take control of the galaxy again. And for Palpatine, or for Snoke, this is something that he's doing because he feels like he's been slighted, he's been wronged, he's been disfigured, as we can see. So he's going after it with a vengeance, and I don't feel like Palpatine had that in his plan for domination.
Palpatine was just doing what Sith were always trained to do, and that was to fucking get rid of the Jedi. I mean, in the end, the Sith ultimately hated the Jedi because they cast them out of the Order.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, there was the schism. Well, I mean, this is like old EU. I mean, it's
legend at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to get into it, in the beginning, there used to be like this big happy family of fucking Force people. But as they started to explore both sides, it became clear to one side that the people exploring the dark side were fucking dangerous, and they're nut jobs, and they like to fucking kill stuff, and they got a little crazy.
Yeah, and then
so they fucking cast them out to their own little fucking world, and then once they got there, all those assholes, all they wanted to do is fucking kill each other because they all wanted to be the number one, and that's where they came eventually to the rule of two.
Yeah, I mean, go read some of the old Republic
in the end,
legends.
their ultimate motivation was always to get back at the Jedi.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always been like a visceral reaction towards the Jedi, to get back at them, to seize power.
But they couldn't help but stumble over themselves until they figured out the rule of two. But even then, they still didn't. It wasn't until Palpatine's reign, where he murdered his master and became the master, that he was the one wise enough as a Sith to play the long game instead of just act on his vengeance and hate. He had the ability to almost use Jedi abilities and be more patient and just kind of wait, and it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it took a special person like Palpatine to use the political system that was set up at the time and take advantage of it the way that he did. Now
he's the greatest modern Sith ever. I mean, he could be the greatest Sith of all time if you really want to get down to it, if you consider what he accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not just talking about like straight abilities and like what they can do and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I'm talking on evil deeds accomplished.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The guy toppled an entire galaxy. Like he toppled an entire galactic republic.
Oh yeah, and he held the reign of the Empire for what, 30 years?
30 or so years.
Yeah.
He stole Force Jesus from the Jedi.
I mean, this dude, he was definitely
I mean, he stole Force
a Mac
Jesus.
Daddy. I mean, I'll put it this way: if you're an up and coming Sith and you had to pick a person to go to try to take over the galaxy, he'd be the first one you'd go to because he's the only one to do it.
He's the George Washington of Sith Lords.
Yeah, like he's the only one to successfully do it. I mean, you could talk about Darth Revan, Darth Bane, and all of these other ones. There's things to learn from them, but if you want to figure out the best way to take over a galaxy, yeah, Palpatine
he did it.
is
I mean, the best part is he did it through other people and with words.
Oh yeah, I mean, he didn't
lift a finger. He didn't lift a finger until the Jedi finally fucking figured it out. He didn't fucking lift a finger.
Yeah, and it wasn't even with force. I mean, you see the moment where the Republic turns into the Empire, and I mean, like.
They gave it to him willingly. Yeah. They were happy to give it to him.
Like Padme says in that scene, this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. I mean, the dude, it was masterful. It was masterful. So to see, and now to juxtapose that to Snoke, who is a man who is literally on a mission of vengeance, I just don't think that, that he has like the ability to take it all the way to the end like Palpatine did, because eventually he's going to come to a point to where he's going to have his goal in front of him, like the thing that he feels like the person that he feels slighted by, that he needs to destroy, is going to be in front of him, and that is going to take precedence over the control of the galaxy thing. So eventually that's going to be his downfall. His downfall is going to be his personal vendetta and not having a greater goal.
It's the way he treats Kylo is going to drive Kylo away. I still think there's a lot of mystery still around the scene we've seen of him blowing Rey away, and clearly we now know that Kylo leads her there. So like, what the fuck is she thinking? Has she been captured, or is this like is this a meeting that she volunteered to sign up for? That's the interesting stuff to me. I mean, I still think in the end, both Rey and Kylo are going to end up being good people, and Kylo's going to probably redeem himself, if not sacrifice himself for Rey. But I want to know, what the fuck is Rey thinking? I mean, we already talked about it. I don't want to go into it again. I mean, clearly Luke's going to push her away because of the way he acts like a fucking idiot. And Kylo's going to give her kind of what she's looking for, but I mean, what does Kylo say to get her to agree to go see Snoke, or does he capture her? I mean, is it going to be just like the Luke and Vader exchange in Jedi, where Luke willingly gives himself up to Vader, like, hey, Dad, fuck it. I know you're looking for me. Quit fucking with my friends. Here I am.
To me,
I'm still not going to do what you want.
To me,
I'm going to show you. He's like, I'm going to show you that you're still Anakin, you piece of shit. And if it requires me turning myself in and eventually almost getting killed, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, like we said with the Kylo and Rey piece, Rey said, like, the Resistance really isn't much to her. And to me, I don't think that she's looking at it through lenses of good and bad. And that's like something that you brought up with her Good Morning America kind of interview. She's done with that. Like, she's done with the perceived good and bad shit, because she's already seen a guy who she thought was bad because he was a stormtrooper or whatever, or he was a stormtrooper in Finn, and then he turned out to be good, and now she's going to this guy Luke Skywalker, who's supposed to be the greatest Jedi Master of all time, and then he turns out to be a fucking crazy nut and exiles her. So now she's just grasping at anything, at straws. She's just like, all right, you say this guy can help me. I can see you're a Force user. You may be good, you may be bad, but I need something. I need somebody. And I need, maybe this isn't, the quote unquote good path, but I have to try it and see what happens. And so to me, like, I don't want it to be a forced thing. Like, I don't want her to get captured, because to me that's just like, it's boring. Like, I want this girl to actually choose to go to Snoke because she's searching for something. Like, if she goes there because she's captured, it just feels like to me it feels like that's expected to happen. Like, oh yeah, right, she's there because Kylo captured her. But I want, like, this is a character who's come into their Force abilities late in life, and she's already been to the greatest Jedi in the galaxy to try to be trained, and he was nothing.
I just want to see the fucking movie. It's like honestly starting to drive me nuts now. I mean, I have ants in my pants thinking about this, because we've spun like 800 scenarios just tonight. It's like, it's starting to get mind-numbing. It's like, well, what the fuck is going to happen here? What's the goddamn order of events? There's no way Disney is going to make this young, sweet girl a fucking bad girl.
Dude, I think they
could. But maybe they are. I don't fucking know. So,
I think they could. I think they could. Now, it might not be like bad, or whatever, but, you know, I feel like, to me, I think it would be the most interesting if she willingly went with Kylo to Snoke. Like, he holds out, like, we see that scene, he holds out his hand, she takes his hand, and they go. And, you know, maybe, you know, obviously when she gets there, she's going to find out, like, you know, I fucked up. You know, this was a mistake. But she needs to learn that on her own, and she doesn't need to learn it by being, you know, like, oh, no, I got captured by the bad guys, and look, oh, yeah, I got here, and they're clearly bad because now I'm getting blasted by Snoke with all his Force abilities. Like, she should go of her own volition and then find out through experience that, like, okay, these are not the people that I want to be associated with. But that's just me.
Dude. Yeah, so I mean that kind of wraps that article. And Nick, I don't want to really extend this much more, but I'm just scrolling through comicbook.com now, and they have some new ones from today, and they're fucking awesome. I mean, I guess Mark Hamill confirmed that another scene was changed from the end of The Force Awakens. Apparently, the reception between him and Rey was supposed to be a little bit warmer than we got. They were supposed to hug. And I guess that was shot, but Luke called Ryan and JJ, and they kind of worked it out. Like, okay, yeah, that's not going to line up with the way Ryan has kind of written The Last Jedi. We can't have them being that close so soon. So that was kind of interesting. And then I guess Boyega came out today and said that Luke's return in The Last Jedi is crazy and incredible.
Huh. Well, it might be that he goes on a mission to save Rey. I mean, that's something that we always speculated, is that, like, what's going to pull him back into the fray. And Rey was always one of those answers, and we clearly see that Rey has now gone with Kylo, willingly or unwillingly, to Snoke's facility. And, you know, maybe that's what brings him out. Maybe he hears about it somehow, and he's ready to go. And he gets fucking CGI'd up like Yoda in Episode 2, and does fucking backflips off the wall and kills a bunch of First Order guys.
Oh, fuck, dude. Listen, Boyega may have spilled some major beans, I guess. So he was talking to Hollywood Reporter about how they were handling Fisher's send-off. And Boyega, I guess he explained, like, I think the send-off is really cool. Even before she passed away, I'd see her in scenes and be like, man, this is really cool for both Carrie and Mark, who are the last two original leads. So he's essentially saying that Luke and Leia are going to meet up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, wasn't there a scene in one of the trailers where I thought, I'm pretty sure I said that's Leia on Acto, because I saw like a beachhead, like she was clearly standing like on a beach, and it looked like it was dark and there was some craggy rocks around. So I think she's going to end up on Acto just from that one scene in the trailer, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that makes sense for those two to meet back up, especially in this movie. With, it's probably going to be later in the movie where, Luke makes his entrance back into the galaxy, kind of ends his exile. And I think that's a good way to do it, is to have Leia be the one.
Dude. I mean, they were just churning shit out today. I guess there's a prop that was essentially Carrie Fisher's body laying like it was sleeping, which is implying that there are a lot of shots of Leia kind of being knocked out.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways that could happen. We don't know if it's going to be from the ship battle. We don't know if it's going to be from an encounter with somebody. Yeah, dude. To see, like...
And fucking Ridley says at the end, the last thing Carrie and I filmed together was emotional for a variety of reasons. It's the end of the film. All this crazy stuff has happened. There's this moment that we share, and thinking about it now, I realize that it's going to be really hard to watch because it will seem like a goodbye, even though it wasn't at the time. You know, she and I went through a similar thing at different times. As Star Wars heroes, she had the most insane life. Wow. So that's almost saying at the end of the movie, Rey is going to be with Leia.
Yeah, or like at least the last time that we see Leia.
Or like Leia, you know what, dude? I think at the end, Leia may be grievously injured towards the end, and maybe she goes into the end like she's out.
Maybe, yeah, it could be.
Because it almost sounds like this scene where they're kind of together, but it seems like a goodbye, so it'd almost be like Leia's just kind of maybe like in a coma and Rey's talking to her, but she's not dead.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to get into it. Jesus, fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot more speculation around. There's a lot of, I mean, like we could talk for a long time about possibilities of things that could happen to Leia. I mean, especially once she hooks back up with Luke. I mean, do they go together to the Snoke facility to try to save Rey? Do they split up?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
who the fuck knows, dude?
It's a lot of good stuff out there, guys. So.
Yeah, anyways, so as to be expected on the Star Wars Time Show, we went down plenty of rabbit holes, and we ended on a few just to make sure you got your daily dose of Star Wars Time Show rabbit holes. So, Nick, I think that's it. I think we kind of recapped with all the major stuff that's come out the past 2 weeks since the last time we were on air. And by the way, people, we could use your listens. We've had a little bit of drop in listenership over the past month, so if you do enjoy these casts, we'd love to have you share them with your friends that also enjoy all things Star Wars, geeky talk, whatever. I mean, we hope Nick and I are somewhat entertaining. I mean, that's what we aim to do. So, if you know people that like Star Wars and you think they'd get some sort of enjoyment out of these casts, please share them with them because, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on Google Play, Android, we're all over the place. We make it very easy to get. You can even get us on YouTube if you want to stare at pretty little equalizer waves that go up and down when we talk. We're here for you. We're trying to make it easy to consume the Star Wars Time Show because we think we know our shit. We probably know our shit. We'll never really know if we knew our shit, but in the end we have fun talking shit, right, Nick?
Oh yeah.
All right, people. So we'll be on the mics next week. Stay tuned. Like I said, share it around. Let's drive up those listens this month. We are requiring your assistance. We need your help. We're using the Force to reach out to you. Please spread the word. Star Wars Time Show. Get some. It's on the best podcast for Star Wars fans and Pop Culture Geeks Network, hosted by your friends over at entertainmentboo.com. All right, people. May the Force be with you always.